Hello, and welcome, my friends, to the next video in the Create Better Content series, where I show you how to tap into your creativity so that you can stay consistent with your marketing and reach more customers. My name is Penny, and I'm going to guide you through this content development process. I want to teach you how to create engaging content for social media, email sequences, sales pages, all of those things together that you use to reach your qualified customers. And if you want to learn more about creativity and how this can help you develop your content marketing plans, I would love to see you hit that button below and subscribe to this channel. And below in the description box, there are several links. One of the links that you're going to see is for the Content Prompt Playbook. This is for small business owners and marketing managers and all those people out there who manage your own marketing, and you are struggling with what to post, and you're trying to use ChatGPT, and it sounds like everybody else's messages that are out there. Well, this playbook is going to give you the steps to teach you how to talk to ChatGPT so that it gets what you need with your marketing messages. And the second link that you're going to see, or at least another link you'll see, is that you can join us on the Marketing Strategy Collective program on Patreon, and you can personally experience what it's like to develop remarkable content and do it with other extraordinary business owners. And we get together every month in a group online space. We just had our meeting this morning, and we talked about AI, and we talked about the tools and how to use it, and to go beyond just help me write this script for email. So love to see you join us so that you can participate in our conversations. You can get the strategy workbooks, all of that stuff together to help you with your marketing. You see the links below, and you know what to do to learn more. All right, so today's video, let's jump into this today. So if you've been following this month's topic on SEO, then you already know, you've already seen all of the, well, at least I hope you have. At least I would like to say you already know that. But I want to believe, that's the word I'm looking for, I want to believe that you know that keywords are the foundation of SEO and what's going to help you stay visible and what's going to help you reach more customers. But here's the truth of this. You know, I go through these videos and we talk about this, and I even did a training video about this for small business owners, not just about how to uncover your keywords, but what do you do when you've got this whole great big list of keywords? Most small business owners were like, well, I'll just drop it into my blogs because that's what the SEO, steps are telling me, the H1s, the H2, and all that kind of stuff having to do with my blogs. But what if you don't blog? What if, you do videos? What if you have other kind of content? So how do you use your SEO keywords, and how do you find them? What are the places in the spaces that you should be using your keywords? Because SEO doesn't just live on your blog posts. It should be included in everything that you do. And I want to talk about this one today. And I want to talk about how you can naturally and strategically put SEO keywords into your content and always make sure that you've got your customers in mind. So let's go through this today, but let's start with the one question. Why does keyword placement even matter? Let's start with this why. Because here's the thing, my friends. Google isn't just going into your website looking for blog posts. Because what if you don't have a blog post? What if you just have, your services page? What if you have an about page? What if you just have a home page and you've got a listing of your products? Google is crawling your entire website, not just looking for blog posts. It's looking at your entire digital footprint, right? The about pages, your service descriptions, your social media profiles, even looking at your YouTube videos, because Google owns YouTube, so it is connected to those two things. So we think about our keywords. When we put our keywords into our content, we put our keywords into our website and all of that stuff, what we're doing with these keywords is it's like a signpost. And every time you put a sign into your website page, every time you put a sign into a blog post, it's like, hey Google, this is what I do, this is who I help, This is why I'm relevant, so you can pull me up in your search for people who just typed in words. So the more consistent these signs, keywords, are across your marketing, the easier it is for search engines and for people to find you. So if you were sitting here wondering why your content isn't showing up, it might not because you're like, oh, I'm just bad at SEO. Maybe you haven't been using the SEO keywords enough and it's not everywhere that it could be. So let's start with the first place it should be. It should be and could be on your website. This is the home base for SEO. Our websites are our main hub. And I'm not going to get into my whole rant here about this because I've done this before on many other videos, but I'm just going to say this one thing, that everything that you should be doing, all of your social media, all of this videos, everything that you're doing should always lead back to your website. Your website is your main hub. It's your home base. This is the one thing that you can control. This is where you've got your information about your business and how people can connect with you, how they can buy from you. So your home base for SEO is your website, and you want to make sure that there's key spots where the words can go. And when I talk about one of the things that it's really important to do this on your home page and your about page and your services pages and are your products pages and all of those pages, you want to make sure that you have page titles. And usually, depending upon the program that you're in, if you're WordPress, it's going to be listed as an H1, H2, which is basically the size. It's nothing to do with anything other than the actual size of it, of the heading. But Google reads these titles. Google looks at these headings and it makes sure that they clearly say what the page is about. So instead of the page just saying, our products, you would have handcrafted, jellies and jams from Asheville, North Carolina. I'm talking about handcrafted, I'm talking about jellies and jams, and I'm telling you where. So that gets more specific instead of our products. And it makes it more searchable. So if somebody's looking for handcrafted, somebody's looking for jams and jellies from Asheville, North Carolina, or what did I say? I don't remember where I said, but where, you know what I meant. And then you also want to make sure that your keywords are in that meta description. And the meta description is the little blurb under your page. It's what comes up in the Google search. So when your business gets pulled up in a Google search, whether it's from the About page, whether it's from the products or the services or a blog post or something like that, you want to make sure that the title and the main keyword sounds natural and it's within this meta description. So that's an important piece, which also leads me to this title of making sure that we use our keywords in our URL titles. And our URL titles are basically going to be set up the title of the page. So if you're writing our products becomes your URL. A better URL would be handmade jelly Asheville. Those are keywords that people could use, and it would link straight to that page, and it makes it simple and clean, but it's keywords in the URL, and that's going to be a huge help for you anytime that you are creating pages on your website. And it's not just the title, and it's just not all the subtitles. You want to make sure that the body of the copy, put your keywords naturally, especially in that first paragraph. For most people, if you don't have a WordPress site, I'm not exactly sure how. In Wix and Squarespace, I'm going to have to do a little bit more research on that. But within the site, there's a space there where you can change out the meta description. But you also want to make sure that within the body, especially that first paragraph, that you use your keywords and put them in naturally. And what I mean by naturally is if you're trying to put keywords in that first paragraph and your keyword stuffing, read it out loud. If it sounds like a robot just saying a bunch of words, it's going to sound like a robot with a bunch of words to the person, the human being on the other end of it. It's just too much. So make sure that you do it naturally by putting those keywords in there. Another place where you can put keywords is in your alt text images. So let's say you've got an image there of your products. So don't just put the product up there as image 579.38. Put it as handcrafted, you know, apricot grape jelly. I don't know what the heck I just came out of my mouth. I don't know. But, get descriptive in your images, because what's going to happen is not only is it becoming descriptive within your website, it also allows you, think about how people run a search on Google for images, right? We don't just see the links. We can run a search for images. So if your image on something that you're selling has the alt tag, the alt text, your keywords, you have a greater chance of showing up in a image search. So when you think about it like this, think about these small little details, but all of these little things, these are the signposts that I'm talking about that tell Google that your site is organized, that your site has relevant information, and that they can trust to send your link to the person that is running that search. So now let's go off the website, because obviously everybody knows about the website. That's where most of our SEO is housed. But where else can we be using some SEO keywords? Social media. Quite honestly, social media is one of the best places for SEO, especially if it is a platform that you are using on a regular basis, because each platform has its own internal search engine inside of it. Think about their search, right? Think about when you look, if you're looking for, you're on LinkedIn, you're looking for company. You can even detail, I'm looking for this company, I'm looking for in this city, or I'm looking for people who used to work for this company. All of that kind of stuff, it's a search engine. And so if we think about how we can search for groups on Facebook, we can search for content on Pinterest, we can search for videos on Instagram. So if we can search for these things, how do you think they get found? Because they got keywords in the titles, they've got keywords in their information, they've got keywords in their hashtags, they've got keywords in their bios. So that's how we find these accounts. So I want you to think too about, especially if it's a platform that you are using very much so, as it's a very intricate part of your strategy. So if you take a look at your social platforms, I want you to look at your bio. Use your main keywords, phrases, your long tail keywords to describe what you do. Don't just say something like marketing coach. Say helping small business owners grow their content through marketing to reach more customers. So small business owners would be a keyword. Content marketing is a keyword. Customers, grow customers could be a long tail keyword. So it's more than just your marketing coach. And the same thing goes with your captions. When you're posting up something, I want you to write conversationally. Don't just shove a bunch of keywords in there, but include your keywords in it. And think about how you can use them. If you are just looking to put keywords in there, use them in hashtags. Be very specific. Handmade furniture, hashtags small business marketing. Use some of the broad ones, but also get real specific. Handmade apricot jelly. Do that. Handmade, or hashtag Asheville. That kind of stuff. Be real specific too, because the more specific you are, the more relevant you're going to show up with the search. That's the best word I'm looking for. The more connected you are, because when somebody's looking for something, I am looking for homemade jellies and jams in Asheville, they're looking for something very specific. And if your captions, if you're using hashtags, if you have got stuff in your bio about that on social media, you have a greater chance of showing up, right? So when your social content and your website are starting to use the same language and the same keywords and the same hashtags, it builds credibility in Google's eyes, and it makes your whole business look consistent. So let's move on to the one last thing that I want to talk about, which we're on to today: YouTube. Because YouTube is the world's second largest search engine, right after Google. And I wonder why. Because it's owned by Google. So that means that everything that's happening on Google is the same thing as what's happening here on YouTube. So that means your video, your video title, your descriptions. Even if you're doing the spoken word on the screen, even that matters now. So I want you to think about how you can use your words for video here on YouTube. Put it in your title. Use your keyword near the beginning of the title. Put it in that description box. Use at least 2 to 3 sentences in your description box and use your keywords in there. Put tags in there. We have several places here. We can put tags in the description box, but there's also a place further down when you hit that more button where you can start putting more. You can manually even put more tags in there and more keywords in there. Make sure if you're going to upload your transcript or turn on the captions for closed captions, Google reads them. Use that as well. Think about how when you're producing your video, how you are naturally putting some of these keywords in there. And if you're using Pinterest is the same thing too. So you can do this with video, but you can also be doing this with Pinterest as well. Pinterest is another spot which is not a social media platform, but it's a search engine. So it's another opportunity. I use Pinterest all the time to help me grow my email list. And what I do is I make sure that my board titles are optimized. My pin descriptions are optimized with keywords. It's a visual SEO tool that can drive amazing traffic to your site. So I want you to think about it from all of these places. Oh, and there's another place that another idea. So let's say so that you're selling a product or a service. You can also make sure that your keywords are in your product titles, your product descriptions. Let's say you've got an Etsy shop instead of a WordPress site. So you can use your product titles, making sure that those product titles and descriptions have keywords in that. Use your category pages. Those are another way that you're going to tell, hey, Google, this is what I do. This is the product that I have. This is the service that I have. Make sure that you put your keywords into, all of the images that you put up there. If you're selling products, you're going to have an image gallery. This is what this looks like. This is what this looks like. Put your image names in there as well. Those are the keywords in the image names. That's what I meant. Because what we're doing here, we're thinking about all of the opportunities that we have, not just a blog post, where we can start putting our keywords in and signaling to Google so that they understand exactly what you're selling and why it matters and who you're helping your customers. So think of the keywords as all of the stuff the bridge that ties it together. The keywords are going to show up on your website. They're going to be in your social media. They're going to be here in your videos, your Google listings, your content. And make sure that it all comes together, but it doesn't sound like it's forced and you're just throwing a whole bunch of keywords in there. And they're sentences, because the important part about making sure that we're writing in sentences and not just keywords is because we're also talking to human beings. We can get pulled up all day long in a Google search, but there's a human being on the other end of that phone or that laptop. And the human being is going to read this copy, and that is the person that's going to make the decision to take an action and to click. So when we think about this, the goal here with SEO is to make your marketing feel very cohesive and connected, as well as giving you the opportunities to help more people discovering you. So when we're putting our keywords into our website, into our board titles, into our product titles, and descriptions and all of that stuff, you're not writing for Google. You're not writing for AI. Remember that. You're writing for real people. So use Google all you want to find those keywords, but make sure that you're talking to real people in those descriptions, in those titles, because we're talking to people who are trying to find our business. So the next time you sit down to write, whether it's a blog post, whether it's a video episode, whether you're updating your product page, ask yourself, where else could I be using my keyword so my customers can start to find me and learn more about how I can actually help them? So thank you so much for joining me today. If this episode is starting to give you some ideas to start learning new skills like SEO for your marketing, I would love for you to hit that like button and then hit that share button and share it with another business owner. And if you want to take this further, we are doing deep dives into SEO this whole month in the Marketing Strategy Collective. We're going to take all of these ideas that I talked about today, and I'm going to show you how to turn these into a content plan that's going to drive sales. You're going to get this information in your interactive workbook that you're going to get. And like I said, we just had our monthly meeting where we took everything that we worked through in our workbooks and we had conversations to help each other with our launches, to help each other with our marketing. So stop working in a solo bubble and use the link below to see how you can work in a collaborative space to get the marketing help that you need. Because you are magnificent, my friend, and let me be the first to say, I'm proud of you. Until next time.